The biggest secret of Jack Nicholson's life wasn't hidden in one of his movies. It was hidden inside his own family. For 37 years, the man who would become one of Hollywood's greatest actors believed he knew exactly who he was. Then, at the height of his fame, a magazine investigation uncovered a truth that changed everything. The woman he had always called his sister was actually his mother. The people he believed were his parents were his grandparents. By the time he learned the truth, the two women who could have answered every question were already gone. Most people would spend the rest of their lives searching for answers. Jack Nicholson turned his questions into unforgettable performances. But that wasn't where his story began. Long before the Academy Awards, before the iconic grin, and before audiences around the world feared him in The Shining, Jack was just a boy growing up along the New Jersey shoreline. His family never had much money, but they gave him something equally valuable: a sense of belonging, even if it was built on a carefully guarded secret. No one around him spoke about the truth. Everyone played their part. And Jack never had a reason to doubt the people who loved him. As a teenager, Hollywood felt impossibly far away. After high school, he traveled west to California with little more than ambition and curiosity. He found work wherever he could, eventually landing a job in the animation department at MGM Studios. It wasn't glamorous. He sorted mail, ran errands, and watched the movie business from the sidelines. Someone noticed his confidence and suggested he try acting instead. It sounded like an opportunity. In reality, it became years of disappointment. Hollywood didn't know what to do with Jack Nicholson. He wasn't the clean-cut leading man studios were looking for. His smile was too mischievous. His eyes carried an intensity that made people uncomfortable. He accepted small roles in low-budget films, simply to survive, often wondering if his dream was slipping away. Nearly every actor reaches a moment when quitting seems like the smartest choice. Jack kept showing up. Instead of waiting for success, he learned every corner of filmmaking. He wrote screenplays, worked with independent directors, and surrounded himself with artists who believed movies could be different. Those difficult years taught him patience, resilience, and something even more important: the confidence to remain himself in an industry constantly asking people to change. Then came 1969, a small counterculture film called Easy Rider changed American cinema forever. Jack wasn't even the star, but audiences couldn't stop talking about the free-spirited lawyer, George Hansen. His performance lasted only a fraction of the movie, yet it stole every scene he entered. Suddenly, the actor who had spent more than a decade fighting for recognition received his first Academy Award nomination. Overnight, Hollywood finally saw what had been there all along. The next few years transformed Jack Nicholson into a cinematic force unlike anyone before. He wasn't interested in perfect heroes. He preferred flawed people, rebels, outcasts, men, whose smiles could make you laugh 1 second and feel uneasy the next. Whether he was exposing corruption in Chinatown, battling authority in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, terrifying audiences in The Shining, or bringing comic book evil to life as the Joker in Batman, Nicholson never simply played characters. He inhabited them. Directors admired his fearlessness. Actors studied his unpredictability. Audiences never knew exactly what he would do next. That uncertainty became his signature. Awards followed one after another. 3 Academy Awards, 12 Oscar nominations spanning decades. Few actors in history maintained such extraordinary consistency for so long. Yet despite becoming one of the biggest stars on earth, Nicholson guarded his private life with remarkable determination. Perhaps he understood better than anyone that appearances can be deceiving. Then came the revelation that explained so much. While researching A profile on Nicholson in 1974, reporters uncovered official records revealing the truth about his family. His sister, June, had actually given birth to him as a teenager. To protect her from the social stigma of the time, Jack's grandparents raised him as their own son, asking everyone in the family to keep the secret forever. The truth reached Jack's. Decades too late, both his mother and grandmother had already died. There would be no difficult conversation, no reunion, no explanation, only acceptance. Years later, Nicholson surprised many people with his response. Rather than expressing bitterness, he chose gratitude. He understood the world his family had lived in and recognized that the people who raised him had acted out of love, however complicated that love had become. Instead of allowing the revelation to define him, he carried it quietly, saying it helped many things in his life finally make sense. Even legends grow older. As Hollywood entered a new era, Nicholson became increasingly selective about the roles he accepted. His final film, How Do You Know?, arrived in 2010. Then, something unusual happened. He simply stopped. There was no farewell tour, no emotional retirement announcement, no carefully planned goodbye. The man who had dominated movie screens for half a century quietly disappeared from them. Rumors quickly spread. Some claimed memory problems had ended his career, while others insisted he had simply chosen peace over fame. Nicholson never publicly confirmed those stories, allowing silence to replace explanation. In many ways, it was a fitting ending for someone who had spent his entire life protecting the mystery behind the man. Today, Jack Nicholson's influence reaches far beyond awards or box office records. His performances continue to inspire actors who dream of creating characters that feel unpredictable, vulnerable, and deeply human. Generations who never saw his films in theaters still discover them today, proving that great storytelling never grows old. Perhaps that's why Jack Nicholson remains one of Hollywood's most fascinating figures, not because he played unforgettable characters, but because behind every fearless performance was a man who spent his own life searching for the truth about himself. And sometimes, the greatest mystery an actor ever faces isn't the one written in a screenplay. It's the one they discover when the cameras stop rolling.